So you are a skin clinic owner and you essentially want to convert more people, but not only more people coming onto programs, high valued packages, programs, memberships, the stuff where you get 3K packages, 6K, 10K packages for, 3 months, 6 months, 10 months. That is the ultimate goal with everyone. It increases your lifetime value. So every customer you get through the door is a lot more profitable, but it comes down to your consultation process. So what you're actually going through, how you structure it, how it works, everything to do with that. The sale happens during that. The sale doesn't happen when you tell them what recommendation you believe would work best to fix their problem and their goal and run them through the exact package. That's not where the sale happens. The sale also doesn't happen when you tell them the price and they accept. How emotionally tied they feel to what you're actually going to run them through, what questions you're asking them, how involved they are in the process, how much of, a pain it really is. Is it a priority? Like all of that stuff is what it comes down to. And that's what I'm going to go through today, because a lot of the times, a lot of clinic owners, we work with hundreds, they say sales is pushy. I don't want to be pushy. I don't want to be salesy. It is not salesy. It is only salesy when the expectation doesn't match reality. And then you try and push on them to buy something that they don't know or don't want to actually buy. And that thing could be the thing that fixes their problem, could be the thing that they really need. But if they don't want it and they don't know they need it, it will come across pushy. That's what we're going to go through. A lot of clinics, to be fair, their consultation process looks exactly like this. Now, they run ads, Google, website, Instagram, wherever the client comes from, referral. Most clinics, new customers, they do a mandatory consult first, which is good if you do that, right? This is how most processes work. Client fills out the form when they come in, whether it's online, in the clinic, does not matter. They then go into the consult room. They then go over skin concerns and problems, the client. So the clinic does this with them. The clinic will look at the client's skin. They'll recommend a treatment that the therapist thinks will work best to fix their problem. And then the client either buys or doesn't buy. Now, this is very backwards. I will be honest. The type of people you want to bring in, and a lot of it will come down to, and I'll run through this in a bit, the type of client you're bringing in. And this was my last video. The only thing I talked about was high quality clients. Bringing those in, attracting them. They're the ones you want to get in, right? But you are able to convert bad fits to at the end of the day if your sales is good enough. And that's a very interesting thing to hear, because you can essentially put someone in enough emotional pain, make him back in that hyperactive buying state where they will want to get something. Now, this consultation structure does not work. The one I just showed you, it is wrong. I mean, it can work, but not for what you want it to work. You can definitely convert treatments and stuff like that on that consultation structure, but you cannot convert programs. So same clients, these two clinics here, we've got Clinic A and we have Clinic B. Clinic A and Clinic B attract the exact same clients. They both get 10 consults of the exact same type of person that comes through the door. However, Clinic A only makes $1,500 off the back of those 10 consults. Clinic B makes $30,000 off the back of those 10 consults. Now, the difference between them is what they actually go through during the consultation process. So how it's structured, how it works, what the therapist actually, runs through. And the second thing will be what the expectation is from the client. So what they're going to buy at the end versus the reality of what they're actually getting. Clinic A sells treatments, right? And you can see here, $150 treatments, might be skin needling, whatever. Where Clinic B, they're selling programs and payments are being collected up front. That's what you want. That's where your revenue is really going to increase. Because if you do that, 10 new clients a week, buying a 3K package, it's not a lot, it's not a big number. That's 30,000 on top of what you're already doing. That's what we start to install with a lot of clinics. That's how we increase their revenue. It's solely by acquisition and then retention. Acquisition focuses on getting new customers in, but the right kind of new, higher quality. And then your retention is getting them to consistently come back instead of having to rely on your team and be, so focused on make sure you rebook this person, make sure you rebook this person. You sell them the program that they would essentially need to get what they want, and you do it upfront. Much simpler process, and it's much smoother as well. Now, how this should work in structure is when clinics say like it's pushy, blah, 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 blah. It's when the client comes in. So say we got whoever here, Bella or something. So we have Bella. She's come into the clinic and, she goes through a typical consult. She thinks she's getting a treatment, whereas this clinic here has then recommended Bella a package. They do not align. This is them. They're going to miss, right? It's going to go straight over the top of her head and it's going to leave Bella very surprised, right? And this is why I hear a lot of clinics say like when they hear the price, they're like, whoa, like they're shocked at the price. It's because they were not expecting that. When someone is shocked by something, it means they just were not expecting it. So you essentially need to use the consultation process to nurture, to build up the rapport and help them understand what they're essentially going to be getting at the end of the session. If you do this, nice. If you do this like properly, you will not get any shocked people. You won't get anyone saying like, I wasn't expecting that or anything like that. So how do you do that? You essentially, firstly, attract the right kind of client. Excuse my face. This is for my last video. If you have not watched that, I do recommend going and watching that ASAP. Probably comes a step before what I'm running through right now, but you essentially need to attract the right kind of client. There's two types of clients, as you all know if you watched it. First client comes in for a treatment. Second client comes in because they have a concern. We want to attract the second kind because the first client expects a treatment. They want the treatment. They're not lifetime value clients. They're there to get skin needling, hyperhidrosis, whatever it is. Whereas the second client's coming in for recommendation to fix their problem and work towards a goal. They want a skin journey. So that's what we're focusing on doing firstly. Second thing is having a proper consultation process. So I will run through this now and how this will all essentially work and structure. So there's 5 phases to it. Your first phase comes down to your intro. Second phase comes down to the primary motive. Third phase comes down to summarizing the problem. Fourth phase is the desired situation. And the fifth phase is your transition. Now, this is honestly the perfect consultation structure. There's no better consultation structure than this. We built it out for a stack of clinics. They all use it and it works very, very well. Now, the first thing is expectation versus reality. You want to set the expectation and the standard as to what they are essentially going to be receiving by the end of this session. So it is very simple to do this. You just go through. So before we get started, I'll quickly explain how our skin reset sessions usually work. That's one of the offers we're running. Our skin reset, it's one of the more popular things we do in clinic. Reason for that is because we don't just want to jump straight into a treatment that might not even be the best fit for your skin. Everyone's skin's a little different. What we usually do first, we'll spend about 30 minutes going through any skin concerns, goals, thoughts you might have regarding your skin, and then we'll take a look at your skin, go through what will actually work best for you. The goal of the session, however, is really just to understand your skin properly first, answer any questions you have, and then if it is something that we can actually help with, we'll go and create a customized treatment plan built specifically for your skin. Does that sound good? Now, obviously, you can change it up a bit. We'll build something out that goes for like 16 weeks or 20 weeks. The point of this is just setting the frame and the expectation that if it is something you can help with, you'll build out a treatment plan that goes for a duration of time. When you say sound good and they say, that sounds amazing, the expectation is now set on, at the end of this session, I'm going to be getting a treatment plan, okay? They won't be shocked. They won't be, oh, I thought I was getting a treatment. I don't want to plan. Like, you've eliminated that objection altogether because now they've literally admitted themselves that they do want this by saying it sounds very good. Once you have got that, you now go on a primary motive. So now you want to get their whole purpose of coming into the clinic. So you just go through, okay, greatly. First, I just want to ask what prompted you to book in for the skin reset. Get a broad problem out of them here. Doesn't have to be super specific. Do not move on past this stage until you get an issue. If you get someone that says, I saw your ad, just wanted to see what you guys do, or I'm just researching, or I'm just looking, do not move past. If their skin was perfect, they would not be there. No one would look if their skin was perfect. So make sure you get a primary motive or a problem out of them. Once you use that, you leverage it throughout the rest of it. And then you can just go through a few of our clinics have similar issues. How long have you had that? Have you tried anything in the past to fix it? Then you have your optional follow-ups. What did you like about it? What didn't work? Blah, blah, blah. Do you have any other skin concerns? And then apart from all of these concerns, what would you say is the main goal of your skin? Please go deeper. This is sales. We're not relying on logic here. So like, oh, why is that your goal? If someone says they want clear skin, that clear skin's not their goal. People buy with emotion. They justify with logic. If clear skin made everyone feel like shit, they wouldn't want it, right? People buy based off how they will feel when they get to a certain point. So if someone wants clear skin, they're buying that feeling that they're going to get once they have clear skin, that confidence, you know, that ability to be like, I'm like the best looking in the room because my skin, that's what they're buying. They're not buying clear skin. So make sure you go a level deeper, get the feelings, get the emotions out of people. Let's talk about problem deeper. Where does it occur most for you? If I was to ask to give you skin a rating out of 10, 1 being terrible, 10 being flawless, 7 doesn't count, where would you put yourself? Why number? What effect does this have on your day-to-day? And personally, how does all this make you feel? These last 2 questions, you will always recognize at the end of everything, you want 2 emotional questions to end your logic. People need to emotionally buy in. As I was just saying, they buy with emotion, justify with logic. So you need to get them in this hyperactive, emotional buying state. Once you do this, you then summarize their problem. So you just go through, repeat everything pretty much they said to you, and then just say, would you agree with me on that? Do not install a solution here. Do not be like, this is your problem, but we're going to do this skin there, and we're going to do this, and make it sound like some good thing. You want to end it negative when you summarize their problem, so they think like, shit, my situation is not good at all. Once they agree with you on that, then you move on to the desired situation. This is where you flip the script. So you go, you mentioned the goal was XYZ. Is that the only goal you have your skin? Is there anything else you want to achieve? Why do you feel like now's the right time to actually get this fixed? Not just not just pushing it further down the line. This is a crucial step to go through because you essentially want to make sure that they're there to buy today. They're not there to buy in 3 months. They're not going on a holiday, and you leverage your sales ability. If someone says they've had, acne for 2 years and they haven't done anything about it, ask them why. This is the question you ask. Why is now a good time? Why have you come in today? They'll give you a reason. Once you get this reason, they cannot say at the end, now's not a good time, or I'll do it in a couple of months, because they've just told you why they need to do it today. Go through why, like what does it actually do for you doing it today? Let's just say you're at your goal and you no longer have that problem. How would you feel compared to where you are now? And what would that do for you on a personal level? Again, the 2 emotional questions. These are crucial for the same reason as they were before. Need to get the emotional buy-in at the end of it. Then you transition over. All right, so got it. That's me done. Questions wise, I do have a very solid understanding of your current skin situation and what you're looking to do or achieve specifically. From what you've told me, definitely is something we can help with. What I want to do now is just walk you through pretty much what we can do here in regards to our customized treatment plans that we'll build specifically out for you to finally fix XYZ problem and work towards XYZ goal. How does that sound? Now, most people will then look at their skin, structure things. Do not look at their skin and keep asking them questions. Do questions, skin concerns, problems, goals. Look at their skin. Some of our clinics do like a facial after they do that. Go look at a package, come back in, then pitch. So make sure you have a structured consultation process. This works very, very well. But the consult is where the sale happens. That's where the person decides, I'm buying this or I'm not buying this. And that's just the reality. If you have a very bad consultation process, it's just going to be super hard to convert people. Most people make their minds up and think like this person knows what they're talking about. They don't, because they get in a certain state. They get in a certain emotional state where they think, I need this, right? That's the whole point of the consult. Do not write stuff down in your consult. Don't take notes. Don't do any of that. Just focus solely on the person, communicating with them like a therapy session, right? Like just speak to them. If you need to write stuff down, add it into your consult form that they fill out at the beginning. You should be able to look at the consult form and look at their skin using the observe machine or whatever you do. You look at their skin and just look at those 2 things without talking to the person and think, all right, they need this. Talking to them is just getting back into that emotional buying state, that hyperactive buying state. Because when someone inquires, when they book in, they're super emotional, they're hyperactive, they want it now. By the time they come in a day later, 2 days later, 3 days, whatever it is, they drop off. Then they come in, they're like, I booked it in because of this reason, but I'm no longer that emotional. The whole point of this consult is to get them back in that emotional state. If you can do that, you will easily be able to convert at a much higher rate and it'll suit the clinic a lot more better. So I'd say that's the big things to do with your consult. The main 5 phases. If any of you want that doc that I just ran through, just comment down below and I'll send it through. But I'd say the big thing to converting, I guess, a lot more high quality people, increasing your revenue even. So if you get 5 people in a week that you convert on like a 2K package, that's 10K extra every single week. That's 40K extra a month. So you need to be selling programs to the right people and having a strong consultation process so that these people actually buy it. If you can do those things, your conversion rate will increase not only for yourself, because I know the clinic owner can always close at a much higher rate than the rest of the team, but the team will increase their conversion rate as well. Plus their rebooking rate will increase because they're selling programs instead of having to rely on rebooking, and then there's drop off. So I'd say go through, implement all that stuff. If there's any questions, leave them below. If you do want to jump on an audit call, go through your clinic or any of that stuff, my link's in the bio as well on YouTube, plus Instagram. So go through there, happy to have a chat and, see if there's possibly any synergies to work with the clinic. But other than that, appreciate you watching this video. And like I say, looking forward to speaking with you.